How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. Lovely to
Yes,
speak to
darling.
you. Clearly, you're somewhere that's
Uh,
not cold, but warm and sunny.
yeah, I'm sat in my garden. I've got a child with me. I'm sorry, so I have to intermittently deal with her. But you've got my full attention otherwise.
Don't worry, I'm up. My daughter's about to take my grandchildren out to dinner. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
We're all multitasking these days. Right, I'll jump straight into it. 8 years
Yeah.
ago, you were the world's strongest man. Um, you were still a very young man then, not even 30. Did you find that when you got to that pinnacle, you were just going to need other challenges?
Yes, I think that winning Will the Strongest Man was definitely a very fulfilling dream, and obviously a lifelong dream. But when I won it, it was a very weird sensation of winning the title and then coming home and having been, I retired the day after. Well, the same day when I won it, I retired from strongman. And coming home and doing normal stuff, like coming home and changing nappies and putting dishes in the dishwasher and making your bed in and taking the dog for a walk. It just made me realize that it didn't quite mean it wasn't quite as life changing as I thought. It wasn't like, oh right, I've completed it, I can relax. I quickly realized it took me probably about 2 years of capitalizing on the win, doing evening whips, doing TV shows, doing lots of sponsorships. Just really just passing the time. It took me 2 years to sort of realize I needed something to chase. So that's when I started resetting my goals and getting stuck into bodybuilding, arm wrestling, fighting, and yeah, just winning titles is not all what it's made out to be. That's for sure.
So you didn't think just to kind of jump forward a little bit that you'd be throwing dwarfs around a cage 5, 7 years later for a start, yeah?
No, I mean, obviously, I think we've all had. I think every bloke has those wild dreams where you get into these nuts fights. So probably some point I had, but no, I never thought it'd be a reality of actually getting in a cage and throwing little people about the place.
Because there's always that question: do you want to fight one giant duck or
Yeah,
20 mini Eddie Halls? And I'm not sure what it is, to be honest.
It's a hard answer, isn't it? Whatever the answer is, it's still a hard answer.
What did you learn about yourself in the physicality of being the strongest man in the world that you've carried with you? I hope there isn't a pond or a pool there that you're watching out that daughter.
There is. I'm keeping my eye on her. She's by the
Okay.
pool.
Um,
What did I
that you
learn about
learned that you
myself?
carried into fight sports.
Hmm. Hmm. I guess the best thing I learned across my strongman journey was just being so in tune with my body
Mm,
and now have the capabilities of literally I can sense when I'm going to get ill probably 3 or 4 days before I'm going to get ill
mm.
just by my training, my breathing, my heart rate. And I don't use any tools, I don't use any devices. I just know it, I just get that sense, and that's when I back off. So having the ability to recover, I think, is like my superpower. It's just like something that's just become so accustomed to me now. I'd say that was the biggest takeaway from the strongman by far. Just having this body mind connection, far better than anybody else on the planet.
Do people assume because you're a strong man that you're also a tough man?
I think they kind of do. I think big men that lift heavy weights are just automatically in a category where they can go into a pub and cause destruction.
Have you
You're
ever?
already in.
Have you ever?
In my youth, I probably have, um, but those days are far gone. Um,
The segue that to that for me for that question is: are you a fighter inside?
I think I've always been a fighter. I think growing up with two older brothers, you have to be a fighter, and
Mm,
that sounds daft to say, but I can hand on heart say I don't think there was a day that went by in my childhood where I wasn't punched in the face and threw a punch. And that I'm being deadly serious with that. So I think, deep down, I am a fighter. Um, and I had many a fights in my upbringing, my surroundings, and I guess adulthood took me away from that. Becoming an adult and getting a job and getting into strongman and going to the gym took me away from that scenario.
Have you found that as you've got into boxing, I mean, it's quite a while now, it's 8 years that you've been in combat sports, it's not a small period, that you have more respect for fighters and that you have a different outlook on that area of sport now?
I think every single day I spend in the combat arena environment, I have more and more respect for the fighters every day because it's you versus you. You go to training and yes, you've got a coach there, but you're the one that's got to push yourself to absolute exhaustion. You're the one that's when you're getting punched and kicked in the face, you've got to pick yourself up at the mat, wipe the blood away, and go again. So it's the admiration for fighters is through the roof, really. I think, and I've done a lot of sports. I've done swimming, done strongman, I've tickled bodybuilding, and I've tried my hand at many, many sports. But I think fighting, you got to take your hat off to them, man, because it takes big balls to train all year round, get in a ring, and literally put your life on the line.
Obviously, you're a heavyweight, so let me ask you very quickly about the heavyweights now. Usyk and Fury fought twice last year. We've got the number one in the division. Are you admirer of the heavyweights?
Yeah, no, 100%. I love watching the heavyweights. The Usyks, the AJs, the Tyson Furies, Daniel Dubois. It's they're fascinating to me because these are humongous men. 100 plus kilo. Some of them even more than that. Some of them 130 kilo. But they're moving like 70 kilo athletes.
Yeah, like middleweights.
And
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and that's what I find mesmerizing. Having done it myself and fought a lot of heavyweight boxers, it's the ones that can move like Muhammad Ali, but still weigh 100 plus kilos, just beyond my sort of mental capabilities. How they do it.
I'll go for 36 minutes even, you know?
Yeah, it's insane. When you actually think about it, you go for a jog, a steady jog for 15 minutes, and that puts a lot of people on the back. Like, fuck me, they can't do any more. Imagine doing double, triple that in a fight scenario where you're out of breath, you can't breathe, and someone's trying to punch your chin off your face.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, it's a different kettle of fish.
I never ever lose empathy when I'm working, writing, commentating ringside. When you see a war over 12 3-minute rounds, it blows me away every time. It's why I'm still doing it 35 years later, because I say to everyone who's a sports fan, get yourself ringside, and for yours in particular as well, uh, April the 26th, Prezero Arena Gliwice against Mariusz Pudzianowski. He's come from your sphere as well. The two strongest men on the planet coming together, the strongest fight ever. If you get ringside and you're going to a heavyweight fight, get close to it because it is mind-blowing. Now, let me ask you, do you think Dubois can beat Usyk second time around?
Yes, I think Dubois has beaten Usyk. I think that low body shot was a very sort of on the line judgment. Some could have said Dubois would have won that match. So I think he's got all the capabilities. He's proven he's got the capabilities to go and beat Usyk. So I think I would honestly probably lean to more towards Daniel Dubois winning this than Usyk,
Who
just
wins?
because of his.
Who wins out of Parker and Dubois?
I don't like to say. I love Parker's style. I think Parker's got big balls because he's not particularly a big guy, is he?
No.
But he's
He is,
gone in
well,
and
he's gone up to 129 kilos now from 112, by the way. They
is he
built him up.
is he
Andy
is he
Lee,
129 currently?
he's put 17 kilos on, 10,000 calories a day, two training camps. They built him from the calves
Oh,
to the thighs, to the glutes, to the back, to the shoulders. They built him up by 17 kilos. Yep.
wow, I did not know that.
And
So
he can
that's probably
still run
changed.
for
Changed.
90 minutes on his day off.
Yeah, that makes him even more dangerous. So I think Parker's an unrecognized entity as of now. I think he's got the capabilities to be world champion. I really do, and he just seems like that. It reminds me a lot of Tony Bellew. You know, just this sort of crazy look in his eye. Really nice guy, but
Yeah.
you know he's got that twitch in his face, and you're like, I wouldn't mess with that fucker.
Two questions historically. Would Mike Tyson have beaten all the heavyweights today? Tyson Fury, Parker, Dubois, and Usyk for you?
I don't think so. I don't think so. Don't get me wrong. I think it'd been an amazing battle, but I just think the size like Mike Mike Tyson versus Tyson Fury. I just think the size difference is too much. I think Tyson Fury beats Mike Tyson all day. I'm afraid, you know. Um, and you put that question back in the 80s and 90s. Pull a Tyson Fury into that era. Does he dominate? Yeah, he does. He does dominate.
So my next question then is, how does Lennox Lewis fare against those four modern leaders in the division? And I can include Anthony Joshua, because I don't think we should run him down. He's been amazing.
Geez, I think Lennox Lewis would he'd be in the top two. I don't know which two, but he'd be in the top two.
Does he beat Tyson Fury then in his pomp?
Hmm. Oh, that's a great question. Fuck. That's a tough answer, man. You put me on the spot here.
I can hear your
Um,
cogs moving in that big brain and big body of yours.
yeah. Geez, if there's ever going to be a draw, I think that would be the draw.
It's a very good fight. It's a very,
It's
very
a
good fight.
very
I
good
think
fight.
Lewis
Yeah.
beats them all. I just on record, I think Lewis beats them all.
Okay. I mean, you can't argue with that. I think you probably got better knowledge than me, and
Well, I've seen you
yeah,
sitting
couldn't
ringside at
argue with that.
big events, so you clearly love it. The Bjornsson, big fight with Bjornsson. You knocked him down, bashed him around. He ended up winning the bout. You both
Mm-hmm.
took your licks. Is there ever a chance of a rematch between you two in a ring?
That would be a big question mark. I think Thor's gone back into strongman. You know, I don't think he's got any interest in fighting anymore. Um, I and to be honest, I don't think. I wouldn't like to do business with Thor. You know, I think there's too much history there.
Right.
And they always say don't fight a man you hate, which is probably the mistake I made.
Mhm.
Um, so I mean, look, if the offer's right and the timing's right, I probably would take it, but it doesn't interest me. You know, I think me fighting people like Mariusz Pudzianowski is more exciting to me. Thor bores me. You know, he's a boring character. Um, and I just don't want to do business with him. I think anytime we've done anything together, I've always lost money. We didn't get paid for that fight. You
Mm.
know, and in a way, I sort of blame Thor because he's such a dick.
Tell me what you really think, Eddie.
Yeah.
So I'm fascinated. I'm glad to hear your daughter's back with you there. That's good. I was getting worried myself because you
I,
haven't looked around, but you're feeding her now. Brilliant. Um,
she's brought me
it,
a yogurt, so I'm feeding her.
oh, she's brought you a yogurt.
To feed her, yeah.
Oh, lovely. How strong is she? Has she got the Hercules gene that you've talked about?
I'm not sure about this one, but my youngest definitely has. My youngest is just so can't describe it. Just the thickness of her neck and shoulders and arms and legs is obscene. I mean, she's 6 months. She could easily pass for an 18-month-old. Just
Is it
insanely big.
is it a real thing that you've looked into then, the Hercules gene?
It is a real thing, yeah. And it's come on, darling, what's up with you? Oh, here you go, then. Yeah, it's a real thing. It's actually quite a common genetic They call it a deficiency. I mean, I call it an efficiency.
It's like
But
a superpower, isn't it? Really?
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, they reckon 1 in 10 have it,
Mm,
which is actually not, that's not too common.
mm,
But it's the ones that do something with it.
mm.
So, I was lucky enough to get into swimming, to bodybuilding, to strongman. So, but unless you do something with it, your body, you wouldn't even know someone's had it. You might get a guy that's got thick arms, thick back, like, yeah, he's probably got it. But I think it's a draw of luck, someone having those genes and landing in a position where they do a sport where it comes in hand, like like strongman, probably fighting and
Like
etc.
rugby in
So
the front row, all that kind of
yeah,
stuff. Yeah, where
yeah, you can
they
almost
learn the
guarantee.
cardio with it and all. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, can almost guarantee there's one or two rugby players that'll have it that just get so big and strong without even trying. Like the teammates will be training their arse off,
yeah.
doing 40 hours a week work, and they'll do 10 and be bigger and stronger. It's just half of it is just a genetic look.
Just briefly on that because it's a fascinating subject. I mean, I could speak to you for hours about it. Um, does that? How does that manifest itself? Do you eat more and grow more? Do you grow? Are you naturally more muscular? Is it what? How does it manifest itself?
So the Hercules gene is a myostatin deficiency,
Mm,
and myostatin tells your body when to stop putting on muscle.
mm.
So, have you ever seen the Belgian blue cows? Like they're cows with muscles on muscles on muscles. They're just this ginormous cows, and they've got no myostatin, so their body doesn't know when to stop
Wow.
putting muscle on. And anyone who's got the Hercules gene will have some type of deficiency, and it all depends how bad that deficiency is as to how much muscle mass they can put on. Mine was obviously quite, I mean, to get up to 196 kilo, 30, just under 32 stone.
Quite severe.
Um, it's 6 foot 2.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite a severe deficiency. Whereas someone else may get up to 25 stone.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there's levels to it, like any
But
deficiency.
mentally, when you walk down the street, do you kind of have this vision that, yeah, I can pick a mini up with one hand? I mean, do you have that kind of, do you feel that, like, I can pick that mini up? Yeah, one hand. Do you have that kind of visualization in
N-
terms of
Not
strength?
not so much now, but when I was at my biggest, when I was 196 kilo, I genuinely felt like I could run through a brick wall.
And you literally,
And
and yeah,
and
and why
I
didn't
reckon
you? Why the
if you
fuck
get
didn't you?
if you gave me £1 million and said, right, there's a double skin brick wall there,
Yeah.
run as hard and fast as you can. If you get through it, you get £1 million. I'd probably get it. And that's how big and strong and just heavy I felt. It's yeah. And yeah, you do look at shit. I remember once there was a sort of a bit of a road rage incident where the lights were changing and they didn't even give me half. I didn't even get my car into gear, and the car behind me is beeping. So I got out, and this is when I was at my biggest as well. And I literally just it was a couple of kids in a Corsa giving me the middle finger and wanking me off, all that shit. And I just fucking flipped, like, get the fuck out. It won't get out. So I literally picked the side of the car up and went to pick it up, and they managed to drive off. But in my head, I was going to flip this car and then get in my car and drive away. But luckily they drove off before I got to manage to anchor into the car.
That would have gone viral today on the internet. You might have got you in a bit
Yeah,
of
yeah.
trouble as well. Last couple of things because I've taken your time here and it's absolutely fascinating. Um,
Mm.
Gladiatorial Rome. Do you think you were born before your day? And I'm sure you've thought this because most of the fighters I've ever interviewed, when I take them to this scenario,
Yeah,
they know because they've thought about it. You've seen 300, you've seen
yeah.
Gladiator, you've read about history. I'm sure. I love tribal warfare going back centuries. If you were in gladiatorial Rome, what would be Eddie Hall's weapons of choice?
Ooh, probably a double-edged axe, and that's it. The double-edged axe and a
Really?
big, massive shield to protect your head and neck, and then
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So axe and shield, not sword and shield, not two swords,
No,
not
not even a shield. Not
not
even
an
a
axe.
shield. Just a big, massive helmet and a double-edged axe, and then just armor plating on the chest, and that's all you
It
need.
fits. It
Yeah, yeah,
fits very much.
yeah.
The world's strongest fight, an incredible clash of giants at the XTB KSW 105 in Gliwice. It'll feature you, two genuine titans, your opponent, the world's strongest man, Mariusz Pudzianowski, as well. MMA bout. You're both
Hmm.
legendary strongmen. April the 26th, the Pre-Zero Arena there in Gliwice. Tell me about MMA. Do you enjoy MMA as much as you do boxing?
I think I enjoy the MMA a lot more. I think the learning aspect of MMA has been so much more fun. getting on the ground, grappling, learning all these little maneuvers and nooks and crannies has just been so fun for me. And that's a big part of, enjoying your training is a massive part of life. If you don't enjoy your training, then what the fuck are you in it for? I found the boxing, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it, but it was a slave. I think when your shoulders get tired and your hands drop and you just, you've got a minute left on the clock and you're just slugging away and you're like, why the fuck am I doing this? Whereas with MMA, you get that arm drop and it's like, right, well, let's get to the floor, and you can sort of get more levels out of yourself. You can sort of get more out of your body, which I enjoy in that respect.
And you're going to fuck him up when you fight?
It's all niceties for now. We've met each other, we've said hellos, we've shook hands, we've paid each other compliments, but I'm keeping an eye on it. But we did the face off, and couldn't look me in the eyes, and I could. And I don't get me wrong, I'm nervous. I'm anxious. This guy's got 16 years experience. He's a big, strong, powerful man. He's got a good fight record. But I don't know, man. I just feel like when, all niceties, but when that bell rings, I just want to punch that guy in the face as hard as I can. And that's what it's about. You can't be friends in that arena. You've got to pull your balls out and fucking give it to the bloke in front of you.
Absolute pleasure to speak to you. A thrill for me to speak to you, Eddie. Always, you will be a legend, and I hope you go on to be a legend in fight sports as well. Thank you very much for your time today. Can't wait for it.
Thank you, Gareth. Appreciate
Cheers,
your
mate.
time, mate.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.